Parks Lifers, it's Carly hanging out at Epcot today. It's actually kind of late afternoon, early evening. It's almost 5 o'clock, I think. So just here for a couple hours this evening, coming to hang out, catch a little bit of food and wine, maybe go on a couple rides. Really just come to walk around the park and get some fresh air and relax a little bit. Tomorrow is Monday, August 10th, and we will be kind of restarting our diet and our clean eating kind of lifestyle. We took a little bit of a break because we had a lot of things to celebrate. We had my birthday, Brian's birthday, our anniversary. Had a lot of really tasty food around Orlando and at the park since they've reopened. And so we'd like to kind of get back on course. So starting tomorrow, the 10th, we will be kind of hopping back on the clean eating lifestyle choice, and maybe we'll share some recipes with you guys that we really like to make. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have one last day kind of walking around with food and wine, enjoying some tasty treats, sharing them with you guys, and just walking around Epcot. So thanks for coming with and letting me share my park's life with you. Now, as I walked into the park this afternoon, we are currently under inclement weather kind of circumstances. There's lightning in the area. And so this is actually the first time that I kind of walked through the entrance and the whole new screening process with that sort of, I guess, different procedure for the safety of the cast members to not be out where they could potentially get struck by lightning. So there were a lot of cast members kind of underneath the awning, including the main entrance cast members, a couple security cast members, and the Advent Health temperature screeners. So they were all kind of hanging out there. It was a little bit less coordinated than it usually is, a little bit less seamless, but luckily I was coming in at a time when there was just one other party that was coming in kind of around the same time that I was. So it was still fairly easy for me. In case you haven't been to Epcot in a while, the construction still continues. There's a lot of signs and walls up like this kind of all around Epcot now, or at least all around Future World, kind of the front half of the park, kind of showing you where to go, where things are, and where not to go. Of course, this wall that's directly across from the Imagination Pavilion is my personal favorite wall of all the construction walls around. A lot of them are themed kind of to the areas that they're in, which is kind of cool, and has those fun designs of the different characters and some little cute catchphrases that kind of go along with the pavilions that are around. So spark your imagination, Imagination Pavilion, journey into imagination with Figment, A+. So as I mentioned, it's about 5:30. The park closes at 9 p.m. tonight. Those hours actually will be changing and are going to be reduced, I believe, starting September 8th. So in just a couple weeks, they're going to be cutting Epcot's hours by 2 hours. At the end of the day, they're going to be kind of making that transition to closing at 7 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. So a little bit of a change there. It does seem like I'm, I don't know, swimming upstream a little bit. Like I'm the only one going into Epcot, and a lot of people are kind of heading towards the exit at this time. So I believe Epcot opens at 11 a.m. So a lot of people have been here for about 6.5 hours, and it seems like a lot of them are kind of done with their day. I mean, not only are we in the thick of summer and it's extremely hot, and so people get tired and they just are done earlier in the day, but with these reduced crowds, you're able to do pretty much everything you want to do in a pretty short amount of time. So that being said, it also seems like there might be a storm rolling in right now, so a lot of people might be sort of making their way elsewhere to get out of that potential rain and thunderstorm that's about to open up on us. So in between the UK Pavilion and the Canada Pavilion, we've got World Showplace, which generally is not open to the public on kind of a normal operating basis. It's usually something that's used either in this little area for like spontaneous character meet and greets, or for specialty weddings, maybe conventions, or someone who buys out kind of a little party pad more or less back here. Can also be used for weddings. Oftentimes there will be like receptions in here after the ceremony. Come have your after party at Epcot, or maybe your dinner, and then you go watch like the fireworks or what was illuminations with your party, have a little dessert party out there. But for food and wine, hello, Food and Wine, it's turned into this kind of big, beautiful, physically distanced area to have lots of tasty treats, a couple different stands, all combined into one big, beautiful, air-conditioned space. And so last time Brian and I came, we had a couple treats in here. I'm just coming back for one specific thing, which you'll see in a moment, but we've got festival favorites, desserts and champagne, which is where we'll be going, Appleseed Orchard, and the mac and cheese kind of marketplace in here. So festival favorites has some of, not really my favorites. They've got pierogi, the fisherman's pie, and this Greek dessert that I don't think I can pronounce correctly, so I'm not going to try. And then desserts and champagne, which is where we are going. They have liquid nitrogen chocolate cake pops, which I did have before, which are absolutely delicious. But even better, they've got a frozen s'mores drink that has like a vodka, whipped cream vodka in it. They also have live entertainment in here. And this piano player is like absolutely incredible. She was here before and she plays all these amazing Disney medleys, and I'm like blown away. So yes, I did make a trip into World Showplace just to get the frozen s'mores with whipped cream vodka drink. And let me tell you, it's worth it. Treat yourself, you know? It's kind of a small portion, but that's what you get at Food and Wine, right? You get these small tastings of different food and wine or other alcohols. And it's one of the best drinks I've ever had at Disney, to be quite honest. It's very simple, but I have simple tastes sometimes, so thank you. You as well. Oh, so I mean, pros and cons. Con, there's a storm potentially rolling in. Pro, the pressure drop happened, which means the temperature drop happened, which means there's a nice breeze and it feels amazing outside right now. So most of today was upwards of like 96. Feels like 104 with the humidity sort of thing, but right now I'm living. So kind of an interesting development that I wanted to kind of check up on and then let you guys in on. Something that I've been following quite closely actually is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, the new ride in the France Pavillion in Epcot here. Last we officially heard from Disney, it is supposed to open still in summer 2020. So that's where we are right now. We are in summer, it is 2020. There was a construction update that was shared by Disney with the announcement of the retheming of Splash Mountain. They said, you know, some projects were able to surge on and continue on forward and other things, blah, blah, blah. And they gave specific mentions of a lot of big projects, but the one thing that they really didn't give any sort of notice to was Ratatouille. So here we are at the France Pavillion. That little reddish orange shack right here is their Food and Wine Marketplace Pavilion. They still have the topiaries up. We're kind of looking at the backside here of Remy. The topiaries from Flower and Garden Festival, that is. And then up the center here would be the normal kind of entrance pathway up into the France Pavillion where you go to the new Beauty and the Beast sing-along that alternates with Impressions de France And then over here on this little walkway, this area that used to be kind of a little meet and greet area for Sleeping Beauty now has this little entrance that says Ratatouille. And over to the right you can see the beautiful Skyliner. So we have this Ratatouille entrance here. Apparently, just below, right about here, there used to be a little sign that said coming summer 2020. And apparently they kind of recently removed it, like in the last month or two, they removed that coming summer 2020 sign. So who's to say? I mean, where is it gonna go from here? When's it gonna open? Is construction done? I mean, I'm sure it is. Maybe just the outside is the last kind of little bits that they have to work on. But the inside, I'm sure if the deadline was summer 2020 and they haven't said otherwise, I'm sure that it's done on the inside, and they're already probably doing test and adjust, having the attractions team kind of run it over and over and over again. But again, who's to say? So that's something that I personally am following very closely and will continue to update you guys on as soon as I hear anything about Remy's Ratatouille adventure. Last time Brian and I visited Food and Wine, he kind of convinced me to get this, which has goat cheese and caramelized onions. I thought it was a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I love goat cheese and I love caramelized onions, so it really wasn't. I tried it and boy was it delicious. So I don't know, step outside your comfort zone once in a while. You'll be surprised. Just wanted to give a live look at sort of the Epcot skyline here with the impending storm rolling in. A little bit of an update, I guess, also on Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, if you haven't been here in a little while, that's what it currently looks like. That's the new Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, mostly indoor roller coaster. I think that was one of the construction projects that they said is still on track, so I don't know.
Thank you for visiting us.
Stay tuned for that.
Just a few reminders. Please wear a face covering.
Well, my friends, it is 6 o'clock. I grabbed myself a little glass of Moscato. My original plan was to kind of sit over here on the bridge kind of area and kind of look out over the lagoon and just relax and be with my thoughts, and mostly myself because there wasn't going to be anyone around. And my little glass of Moscato and just be able to have just a nice little evening moment out here. But this storm is really coming in and it's looking really dark out there and really windy. So I'm just gonna kind of keep moving. Maybe I'll make it to Norway and I can wait indoors for Frozen. Be out of the rain when it does hit. Frozen might be a little bit of a wash. I walked by and the queue is like wrapped outside of Norway, back by that little blue kind of gate in between Norway and China, and then up along the Nine Dragons restaurant in China, that restaurant right up front. So I think by the time the storm hits, I'll still be outside and it won't be worth it anyway. So that being said, I'm making my way out of World Showcase, maybe up to the front, hopefully maybe go on Spaceship Earth, and then head out of the park from there. Also, that being said, with all the inclement weather kind of approaching, a lot of the food and beverage carts are heading out. A lot of the cast members that would normally be out walking around, interacting with guests aren't around. So it seems like more guests are realizing that and using that opportunity to pull the mask down below their nose or just literally walk with it out here. So I think it might be best just to head out anyway. This is my current view as it's beginning to drizzle ever so slightly. You can really kind of feel that wind picking up, so getting a little spooky out here. The little snack or food counter inside the Epcot experience has now reopened. It was closed the last time that we were here, but it just sort of seems like it's maybe just giving out generic snacks. Yes, you can see straight through that building. With all the big construction that's kind of happening here at Epcot, What used to be Innovations and Mouse Gear is all kind of completely blocked off by these construction walls, is actively being kind of torn down, or at least the inside is being torn down for now. Brian was saying that he saw somewhere that the brand new pavilion that was supposed to be the new like icon for the park, where you could have like 3 levels and fireworks viewing and event space and all this stuff, that project was canceled or postponed. I don't think that's true. I didn't see it anywhere, and I keep asking him to see if he can find the sources, and we just keep forgetting to look it up. So I don't think it's true. If any of you have heard otherwise, please let us know and help us find those sources, because we keep forgetting. Even though it's really windy, I'm now under the safety of our spaceship Earth. It looks like a walk-on right now, so I'm going to do it before making my way back to the car, and I will start. Speaking of a construction update, this is something else that we've kind of been debating about. We don't know if it's just been delayed indefinitely, but the redo of Spaceship Earth with kind of that new storytelling aspect of it, new narrator, has been postponed indefinitely. We don't know, we don't think that it's been officially canceled yet, but regular Spaceship Earth is here to stay for a little while longer, which is fine by me.
For your safety, please take small children by the hands and watch your step on the moving platform. Platforms of time-machine vehicle are moving at equal speed.
Just one.
Sliding doors on your time machine will close automatically. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. And please watch your children.
Thank you.
Sliding doors on the time machine will close automatically. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. And please watch your children.
Thank you.
The sliding doors on your time machine will close automatically. For your safety, remain seated.
For your safety, remain seated like this. During your slow-moving journey, your time machine will slowly rotate backward and stop momentarily. For your safety.
Welcome aboard. Usually where you're from is what we bring your time travel away.
Look, it's me. If you haven't seen the inside of this place lately, pretty dead. Not a whole lot going on in here. A lot of the screens have been turned off and removed. I think a lot of that obviously was in preparation for them being down for an extended period of time, but now it's just kind of an added bonus that it was already gone because of coronavirus. It would be a very high-touch area, hard to keep sanitized, so it's not pouring, just little sprinkles, so it's not terrible, but I'm still gonna make my way out of Epcot here. The only other thing that I would have done that I didn't do was go on Test Track, and that goes down in lightning and I think high winds. or the other, so that's okay. I checked the weather forecast before coming today and I knew this would be the case, so more than anything else, I just kind of wanted to get here, walk around, get some fresh air, and vlog a little bit, so mission's accomplished. That being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me today on a quick little loop around Epcot, getting caught in a little bit of a rainstorm, having a quick stop inside of World Showplace for frozen s'mores. Oh, it was a great time. So thanks for joining me today and have a great rest of your day.